Elliot, it's nice to have you on here, man. How would you introduce yourself for people who may not know who you are?
Yeah, 100%. I think the best way to introduce myself, I came from professional cycling into the space of business. I predominantly chose the distribution industry or the network marketing industry. I've got multiple business endeavors. That's the sort of my main focus right now, purely because the impact it can really have on a lot of people worldwide. I know we're going to delve into that more so, but yeah, entrepreneur, business builder, um, and worldwide sort of global leader in that sense. Yeah.
Hmm. We're gonna get into that later, but let's start from the beginning. What was your childhood like?
Yeah, so I was actually born in quite a unique way. When I was first actually born, my family traveled a lot around the world, racing off road motorbikes. That's actually so I was born
Mm.
straight into performance. I was born straight into I guess a bit of a unique way of living. All my friends would finish school and they'd go home and do something with their family over the weekend just while they're home. I would be off in a sort of RV
Mm.
sort of motorhome, and I would be traveling around the UK and Ireland and Belgium, and I've actually been over to the States as well. So I was very
Mm.
much into a lifestyle of performance, a very different kind of lifestyle with travel, especially. And that was sort of what I knew. That was a normality to me. So I was very much born into performance and a different way of living. I never really saw myself where I lived as home, because I was always sort of traveling around, and I was brought into a lifestyle that was very, very different immediately from day one. So that was really where I guess my want to find out, my curiosity came from that. Definitely when it comes to
Mm.
reaching a high level of sport and then into business. But yeah, I was brought. Obviously, that was from like born up until the age of 4 when I had my first motorcycle myself. So I was very much straight into racing motorbikes in different areas of the world, and then further into elite sport. Really, I guess is the best way to put it. Yes, I did school and things of that nature, but generally, my life was built around how we can create something special and become somebody
Mm.
of value, of performance, of achievement. That was very much where my mum and dad were both marathon runners. My family have always done. My cousin was very high up in the space of racing motorbikes. So it was all right. It was always about who I'm becoming, who you're becoming, what is it that you're dedicated to. I guess I saw dedication from a very, very, very young age, and it's definitely
Mm.
took me into places in life that have
Mm.
meant that's been at the forefront of who I am and what it is that I'm sort of
Mm.
doing. Again, we talk about doing, but really for me, it's always been about becoming, always been about what we're achieving, what we're dedicated to. So that's just an insight, I guess, into my sort of
Mm.
childhood.
Love that. What's your opinion on school in general?
School. I think it's necessary from learning how to be a sociable individual and a person that can relate to a lot of different. I do think it's a benefit in this world to be able to relate to a lot of different people, and I think the school does that. For me, it was always a big social aspect. School, it
Mm.
wasn't really about what we were learning, or to be honest, I never ever had a plan to take school into my life, if that makes sense. Never in a million years. But I think everything I learned from school, the people I met, and what I was able to gauge from different people's the way they brought up and what was normal to them, I think you learn a lot about that from school. Um, Wisdom's the ability to discern difference. So I think that without accumulating a lot of different perspectives that you get at school, you don't really know where you're at. I'm all about being able to know where you're at, and being aware of where you're at and
Mm.
identify that. And I think you only know that by meeting a lot of different people with different ideas to help
Mm.
you shape your ideas. So for me, it was never a learning environment. It was always an environment where I was excited always about learning about who I was with and what they thought was normal, or what their idea was. But I never really was one to. I think I've always been an individual to form my own ideas based upon what I like about different people's perspective. And that's, again, I've took that
Mm.
into life. I actually went through school and then I went into higher education too. But none of it was about what I was learning. I never had a plan to take that study into earning money. That didn't compute for me. I never saw myself earning money the way everybody else earned money. It was always a
Mm.
stopgap, always an experience. So I'd say school for me was an experience and an accumulation of learning from different ideas to make me better. So that's the really how I saw it.
That's an interesting answer. But yeah, a lot of people have like really like some people say that school is like literally so bad and you should only homeschool your kids. I don't really think I agree with that, to be honest. Um, but yes, I do think that, for example, things like college, getting to $100,000, $200,000 debt for 4 years, and then I don't think that makes sense for the majority of people unless they want to truly be lawyers or doctors. That's what I
Hmm.
think.
Hmm. Hmm.
What's one childhood memory that makes you smile?
One hard childhood memory that makes me smile.
The first that comes to mind.
I think it was the first time I felt like I'd achieved something. I was actually over it. I
Mm.
remember it really, really well. I'd actually been I was racing motorbikes. I was probably around five, 4, 4, 5, and my dad promised me during this race that was at, you had to qualify to get through to like the main event.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me if I qualified that he would buy me a pair of Oakley goggles, right? And so it was the first time I'd ever really been given a goal and been, very enthusiastic about achieving it. So we were in America, we were in Florida, I remember it. And I went ahead and I qualified, and he took me to get the goggles, and I got the goggles. So for me, for me personally, it's something I'm really fond of. My dad had set me a goal that I wanted to achieve, and I guess that's where an obsession came for me in achieving things, hitting goals.
Mm.
And it wasn't about the goggles; it was about I'd been set this, although it was someone external from myself that had set it. My dad had said, "You achieve this, and I will show you a recognition." And for me personally, it wasn't a factor of it being insecure, but it was the fact of how it made me feel to have achieved something that had been prompted with a test to you go ahead and
Mm.
achieve it, and this will be the outcome. So that's a fun memory. That's probably the earliest memory I've gotten of achieving something I was proud of and being recognized for it. Now, recognition doesn't need to be a present or anything like that, but he'd said,
Mhm.
you go ahead and you qualify. I think you had to maybe finish in the top 5 or 6, and I finished in the top 5 or 6 in this race. And he rewarded and recognized that I'd done that, and he got me those goggles, man. So yeah, it was a cool
Do you
moment.
feel like people get too many participation trophies and that doesn't um, incentivize them to try as hard because they know that they will get something at least?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I believe we make it okay for people
Mm.
not to strive to be the best.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
we mentioned at the start, what are you known for? Well, I'm not really. I would be known for performance. I would be known for winning. I would be known for expressing who I am. Whether you call it building business, whether you call it network marketing, that's just the I guess not the not the discipline, but it is kind of just the discipline that I've chose.
Mm.
But as long as you can be business builder, building of something, momentum, that's what I'm about. I'm about building, creating momentum. So
Mm.
business is a great way to express that, gives you a great lifestyle. Network marketing creates freedom and it helps a lot of
Mm.
people, So business builder, uh, I guess being a great in the space of network marketing is really cool. That's definitely something that I aspire to continue to express. But I
Mm.
think a lot of people, we make it okay for people not to win. And for me, winning is
Mm.
becoming the best version of yourself. Winning isn't me against you or anything like
Mhm.
that. Winning for me is becoming the best version of yourself and holding yourself accountable. Now, we make examples of people that are the best, but a lot of people celebrate those individuals, rightly so, but for whatever reason make it okay for them to not become as great as that person. Now, I believe we should encourage individuals to win and not accept who they are or not accept where they're
Mm.
at. Not for the case of something tangible, but for the fact that we're meant to grow, we're meant to change, we're meant to progress. People have this association
Mhm.
with change like it's negative. It's not, it's fantastic. So for me personally, I think we make it okay collectively that people aren't being held accountable for becoming better. So it takes
Mm.
individuals like myself, yourself, to expose winners, to expose those that are doing great, recognize them, put our hand up and say, you know what, I'm maybe not happy where I'm at, or where I'm at's not good enough, but here is better. A lot of people should be living that way, and they're not. So
Mm.
I don't think it's a case that we hand out participation medals, but I think there isn't enough collective self-love in becoming the best version of
Mm.
yourself and being not okay with being where you're at. And everybody shouldn't be okay with where they're at, in my opinion. I'm not okay with
Yeah.
where I'm at. I'm grateful, but I'm not okay with where I'm at all.
Hmm. You know, when as you mentioned change, as people see it as a bad thing, people think that when they tell me, "Oh, you've changed," like it's an insult. But to be honest, I think that's a compliment because
Mm.
even I may have improved because if they would say, "Ah, man, you're the same dude from 2 years ago," I'm like, "Oh, oh," I'd not be glad about that. Actually, I'd be actually
Well,
sad.
no, it's a good point, but I think what people do is when you do change, you actually make a lot of people feel a sense of self-reflection, and a lot of people don't
Mm.
like looking at themselves in the mirror. So when you change, it's not the fact that you haven't done something you're meant to do. You are meant to change. Everybody's meant to change. But the reason people say that is because now you've made them feel an element of responsibility for where they're at. And when people feel a responsibility for where they're at, and not a lot of people make them feel it,
Mm.
it makes them feel very uncomfortable. So
Mm.
change is uncomfortable. Now, a lot of people wait for the government or the world or whatever it is to change them. No, no, no. I'm going to change me, and everyone around me should be changing too. If you're not growing,
Mm.
you're going right. Well, it's not. That's not a case of not a negative thing. But if you're around me, you're going to want to change. You're going to have to change, not because that's an order, but you're going to feel not good about being around me and not changing. You're not going
Mm.
to feel good about that. Why? Because I have a level of and a standard, and I'm afraid that if I have that standard for me, and you're going to feel it. So what happens is, brother, you actually repel those that aren't growing because of the frequency you continue to progress to. And a lot of people who aren't growing feel very comfortable about that, so they excuse themselves a lot of the time.
How would you say you have changed over the past, let's say, 5 years?
Yeah, well, obviously, I came from professional cycling, so professional cycling was the way I expressed my art. I know my art is growing, my art is changing, my art is what does it take to really bring that to life. Now, in 2020, I think in March 2020, I was one of the top few athletes, as per the British cycling rankings, let's say, in the UK. Now, that wasn't 5 years previous. I wasn't there, so let's just look at 5 years. We're talking about 5 years now. That's where I was at. So during that time, I built business again in that space. I've since closed that business, progressed from professional cycling into the space of direct sales, direct distribution, network marketing, because I needed a bigger tank. I needed somewhere I can grow bigger. Now,
Mm.
what's changed is I earn much more money than I used to, which is a reflection of me changing.
Mm.
So the outside world, I look different, I sound different, my environment is very different. So what's really changed, brother, is the way I see myself. Now, when you see yourself differently, what's inside must be outside. You know that, right? So
Mm.
what's inside must be outside. What happens is people they stick with the same way of seeing the world, seeing life, seeing money, seeing family, seeing friends, seeing relationships, the same habits, which means their outside world never changes. Well, when you impress a different idea inside, it expresses outside. So over the past
Mm.
5 years, all as I've done is continually impress a new gold. Sorry, a new gold, a new goal. We're talking about gold. We're talking about trading right now. Gold, right? Gold after night. So, is funny enough, I've even got some gold here. Look.
Oh, oh shit.
So, what I'm saying is that when you impress a new goal, you're actually saying yes to a new self image. So I've
Mm.
continuously changed my identity. And when you change your identity, you change the life you live. So,
Mm.
so 5 years ago, it would have been, I'm so happy and grateful. Now I am, world champion. I'm dominant in the space of cycling. I've built a brand and I've built a business that's the biggest brand of helping individuals worldwide in the cycling space. Then I found when you see something different, bro, you want something new. So I saw more. I saw outside the cycling world. I'd come to a crossroads and I was like, wow, this industry of network marketing, fantastic, phenomenal. Why? Not because of what we do. It's it's business principles, basic business principles. Now, but the space, the environment, and the greats of this space have character I want. They have results I want physically, mentally, financially. They can communicate, they can talk, they can impact, they can make people feel a certain way about themselves and where they can
Mm.
go. So I got obsessed with why people were so great at the top of this industry. People think I
Mm.
joined for the income. No, the income's a byproduct of why I joined. What I joined for is so I can be one of the greats in the industry of network marketing. Why? Because all of the greats, they have character I want for me. That's really
Mm.
why. So the way I've changed, brother, is by expecting a different outcome from seeing myself in a certain way. And that's what
Mm.
I'm obsessed with that, regardless of what. Call that what you want, visionary, artist.
That's
Yeah.
amazing, and I feel like a lot of people do overlook the mental stuff because they think it's not important.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Who did you look up to as a kid?
Whoever was the best at. So I've probably gone a few different phases really when it comes to sport and into business. I guess sport led me to really 5 years ago. I wasn't really, when it came to the world of business, I didn't have a hero, to be honest. So my heroes were in the space of professional cycling. So my mentor at the time was a hero of mine. His name's Alex Richardson, and he was
Mm.
a mentor and he was my hero. So, and everybody needs a hero. Anybody without a
Mm.
hero is lost. They really, really are. So I guess in the foot, I was very high up in the footballing space from probably 10 years of age to higher teens, and then I was in the area of a nationally ranked squash player, and then I was really into cycling. So if someone was the best at that specific area, that was a hero of mine. Now, I think that really came into play in cycling. My hero was Alex Richardson. Why? Because he was my mentor. He was my mentor, so he was my hero. He was the person that
Mm.
I did exactly what he said every single day. And over time, it just so happened he was very, very successful financially too. So he was a hero of mine in
Mm.
not just what he saw when it came to the bike or being a professional cyclist, but also how he saw money, also how he saw family, also how he saw an expectation of himself across everything he did. Remember, how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Mm.
So I saw that he was the first hero I had because he did one thing amazing and did everything the same way. All right.
Mm.
And then we were into the network marketing space now. My mentor's Mr. Holton Bugs. Now he's the
Mm.
best to ever do it. He's the go. He's on my Instagram everywhere, and he's a hero. Not just because he's done great financially, but because of his character, the way he sees things. So I'm most impressed by the way people. Yes, results. They're a big explanation and a qualification of the how people see a certain something. But really, what I'm looking for is to see things the way they see them. Then you're going to
Mm.
have the life and you're going to be the person that they are and the best things about them. So people think I'm most excited about the tangible result. No, I'm most excited about who I'm becoming and how I can take the best and leave the rest.
Hmm. That's an amazing answer. So let's get further into later in your life. When was your first dollar online, and how did you feel at that moment?
Well, throughout everything I've done, I've always found ways to earn income. I
Mm.
remember I remember I was probably about 15, 16. I used to sell like designer clothes. I don't know how, I don't even remember how I did it, but I used to sell designer clothes and I had this like just business running. I just came from nowhere really. So I did that, and I remember then I also when I was a squash player, I used to restring people's rackets, and it was just a self-employed service that I built by myself. I
Mm.
used to coach some people, so I did that. Then I went into obviously when it comes to professional cycling, I used to mentor and coach people in the space. Again, that was me giving back. I've always just gave back really with what I've been doing. And in the online space, I guess really inspired me because I learned a lot from Mr. Bob Proctor. Was probably a big example
Mm.
of why and inspired me to find out what multiple streams of income actually mean. A lot of people don't know what multiple streams of income are. Well, multiple streams of
Mm.
income. I talked about being in the distribution industry. Well, our product, our education is distributed around the world, giving it to more individuals, and it flows through my network, and I get paid for that. It's not technical what
Mm.
happens. Our product is financial education. You know, it's great. It could be, it could be energy drinks. It could be anything. It doesn't matter what it is. But distribution is very popular. It has been for so many years. Now, when you earn money because of that, and you do the work once, and it carries on, I was like, wow. So I can distribute to Canada, and through that distribution channel, it can reach another company, but I'm still paid. So when I say online, it was really that concept that I got obsessed with. By me becoming better, by
Mm.
me becoming a more responsible individual, by me becoming a better leader, by me becoming a better man, by me being able to communicate with more people, I can distribute this service, this product, this way of earning income to individuals that I don't need to necessarily even know, but my impact
Mm.
is felt. So that was really the obsession with me when I saw that. Wow, hang on, I have business now in Thunder Bay, Canada. I have business now in Abu Dhabi. I have business now in Marbella, Spain. I have business now in um, Lithuania, the capital in Lithuania. It can go from there to many different areas of the world, not directly off my effort. So I can
Hmm.
work as a team. I can distribute this way of earning income across the world, and that's called multiple streams of income.
Hmm.
Well, I got obsessed with finding out how far you can really take that. Who I need to become to make that a reality for a lot of other people. And by that as well, helping somebody else make a dollar by doing the same thing. Duplicate, show, shadow, and then duplicate. I was
Hmm.
like, this can impact, like, everybody needs this. Everybody should have this who are open to actually what wealth accumulation looks like and multiple streams of income and residual income looks like. Oh, I'm gonna reach as many people as I can worldwide.
Hmm. That's genius. What do you think about shortcuts? People trying to take shortcuts, like I think you've seen it a million times. People trying to invest money in this meme coin. They call them shit coins because usually it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
lead anywhere. They
yeah.
think that they were gonna put in $20 and overnight they're gonna be a millionaire, and
Yeah.
they think that they're gonna, I don't know, have 10K a month in 2 months from now, and they think that they can just like they're looking for shortcuts.
Yeah.
What do you think about this whole concept? For example, the meme coins. We can talk about that. What do you think about that?
Well, first of all, I have a very close friend of me that's become very, when I say very good, I think people need to understand what goes into hitting that lucky meme coin. Well, there's an art to every space. And if people think they're going to be successful in, I've been able to do some great income in, say, for instance, in the space of network marketing, I actually did 5 figures in my first 60 days. That's of earnings. Now, what people don't realize is I was already in business 4 or 5 years prior
Mm,
to that. So it's not really 60 days. It's 60 days in that, but
mm.
it's actually 4 years and 60 days
It
of
looks like overnight success, but
yeah, and
they
it's
don't see
and
the
it's
effort before that.
right. So it's not necessarily that I did it in that amount of time. It was the fact that it actually took me 4 years and 60 days to achieve that income. So same with this space. I have a close friend of mine who's become very good, very successful in that space. Well, when you know what success looks like, I've seen his coins go to zero,
Mm,
just as and so's he, probably 8 times out of 10. But it only takes two to pop for you to earn your income. But the key part is this: people then go and model the same success, and they come up against them 7 times that they failed, and then they quit. What people need to
mm,
realize is when you ask that individual, how did you make it happen in this space? For instance, you mentioned meme coins. Well, actually, it's the 4 or 5 years I've done
mm,
of study and failing that's led me to now earning this money. Brother, a lot of people are ignorant and naive to what success actually takes. I've only been in the space of distribution and network marketing for 2.5 years. It's not a long time at all.
mm,
2.5 years, you're just getting started, really. But over that time, a lot of people don't last. Well, they don't last because they don't really understand what it was going to take. So I think people are looking for a quick way to get rich, knowing that if it came quick, it's going to go quick, because you want to be the person that has got the scars, has been through the struggle, and knows what it takes to not only build wealth but actually preserve it too. So nothing is, if someone's telling you, look, you're gonna
Mm.
start here and achieve this by this, and that's going to be the outcome. I think then you should be, I'm very, very straightforward in saying, you join me, you need to buckle up for at least 12 months. Yes, you're probably going to
Mm.
see some profits, you're going to see some success, but it's probably not going to be in the way that you see it right now. I always share this. People overestimate what they're going to achieve in 1 to 3 years. They underestimate what they're going to achieve in 3 to 5 years. And it's probably the best way to. I think that's a
Mm.
philosophy that served me well. People overestimate what they're going to achieve in 1 to 3 years, and they underestimate what
Mm.
they're going to achieve in 3 to 5. A lot of people don't even make it to 3 to 5 years. So although all those people that did, it looks like, wow, what happened? No, you don't saw all the days of all in, all the
Mm.
Zoom calls, all the three-way calls, all the people who quit, all the people who didn't do anything, all the people that called it a scam, all the people that took,
Mm.
dirt on your name. All those people you've got to go through to get to the people you're going to make money with and earn money with and travel the world with. So yeah, anything that people think they're going to get rich quick in is probably get rich quick. It's probably a scam. So
Oh, honestly, I heard the word scam so many times, and I'm like, it honestly, they call a scam somebody trying to teach somebody their knowledge, and they call that a scam.
right,
I feel like that's unfair nowadays.
look, you have to love on everyone the same. Everyone's doing their
Mm.
best. Everyone's just doing their best, brother. So if you can go into every conversation like everyone's doing their best, if they knew better,
Mm.
they'd do better. See, my role is to help people. Again, going back to how would you describe
Mm.
how would you describe you, or how would you introduce yourself?
Mm.
It depends on where the person's at, is how I'm going to introduce myself, because who I am to one person is probably going to be who I am to somebody else. Business
Mm.
builder, to a lot of individuals, mentor, leader within the network marketing space. What I'm saying is that changes because from different people, I'm a different pinnacle individual in their life. So
Mm.
I think the word scam comes from people who have gone into something probably thinking this seems like it's too easy,
Mm.
rather than going and joining somebody who says this is probably going to be some of the hardest work you ever do. Okay. It probably is going to be some of the hardest work you ever do. You're probably going to need to give it 12 to 18 months to 24 months before you're going to start seeing some real results,
Mm.
which is how I would go into a conversation. Those are the people you want to join because they're giving you the real.
Mm.
You're probably gonna need to buckle up for 3 to 5 years before your lifestyle starts to really shift. And that's the
Mm.
truth. That's the truth. A scam is something that's unethical, immoral. Someone with credibility is often not, is often not caught up in that situation, which is why I always go to a credible source and ask them what their perception is. See,
Mm.
people go to people who they know haven't got the results they want. They may be broke, busted,
Mm.
disgusted. They've got a job and they're trying to get to financial freedom, but they go and ask them what they think. So I have a lot of people that I say, the worst thing you can do now is have a conversation with me of my perception of wealth, and go and ask your friend at the same job as you what they think. They don't know, else they would be doing it. They don't have a clue. So you always have to go back to somebody who's got the results you want.
Hmm. I remember the first money I ever made online. There was a $250 sale for my one-to-one coaching,
Yep.
and I have tried that before a myriad of times on my own. I've watched so many YouTube videos, and I just felt like I kept getting rejected, etc. I even tried going on Zoom calls, which I was nervous about, and I got rejected. I invested in mentorship from one person, and within the first, like, how long did it take me? Like, within the first 19 days with his sales lessons, like literally I was going on a Zoom call once a week with him, and he was texting me and helping me. I made my first $250 sale within the first 20 days, whereas 8 months before that, trying it on my own, I didn't have the knowledge and the experience and the skin in the game that this person had. Now, I'm not gonna name drop, but honestly, ever since then, I look at mentorship as something that if it makes sense for me, I absolutely don't think it's a scam. And I think
Mhm.
that a lot of people, um, they're always looking to I'm gonna reinvent the wheel. To
Yeah,
be honest, learn from people who have done it before, and I feel
yeah,
like that is the easiest path to do it.
100%, 100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I want to ask you, what were your biggest business mistakes in the beginning?
Biggest business mistakes. I get when you pick a mentor, when you pick a
Hmm.
mentor or a mentor picks you, I think mentorship's earned. It's earned.
Hmm.
So the more that you do what the mentor says, the better the relationship's going to be because they can see you value what they say and you act upon it before it makes sense to you. The biggest mistakes I've ever made have gone off my own understanding and not going off the understanding
Hmm.
of what my mentor has repeatedly told me to do. I don't know
Ah.
what it is. I feel like there's a spiritual alignment with doing what your mentor says that brings you results you're not even ready for. And every single time I've actually acted in alignment with what my mentor said. I've actually achieved in multiple different areas of my life, even more so as a result of doing what they say financially too. So I believe harmony is doing what your mentor says until it makes sense. And I believe that because that you create a spiritual path to your accumulation of more, but only based off the universe saying you're willing to do what this individual that I've brought
Hmm.
into your life says until it makes sense. So I believe the people that get the best results lean on the understanding of their mentor before they understand. And I
Hmm.
believe you activate a spiritual path of more to you by doing what the mentor said, because the universe
Hmm.
knows that you've trusted in someone that they've already trusted with more before you've got it. So the reason I'm
Hmm.
saying this is because when you trust in a mentor, I believe, and you do what they say, I believe you activate in the unseen responsibility to get results because because the universe has tested your ability to listen and apply what another person's saying who the universe knows has more results than you.
Hmm.
And this is the way I think about doing what a mentor said. Even if I don't understand it, I don't ask that. So all the mistakes I've ever made have been because I haven't done what my mentor says.
Hmm.
I've gone off of my own feeling, my own understanding, my own results, and it's never really came off. It's never came off. And that
Hmm.
isn't saying that the mentor always gets it right, but if you're willing to lean on their, remember, the wisdom is the ability to discern difference. A mentor has more ability to do that than a student. That's why they've got the results they have. Okay.
Hmm.
So all the mistakes I've ever made, brother, have been um, from acting out of alignment or taking action based upon my understanding rather than doing as my mentor says until my life makes sense. Now, there's always going to be a time period with that. Time stands for things I must experience. So you're going to have to, again, there has to be a time of just, the time of gestation and that happening that needs to gestation, sorry, that needs to happen. But all my mistakes have come from really not doing what my mentor said
Hmm.
through long periods of focused effort.
So then that raises the question: how do you recognize a good mentor?
Me personally, really good question. That's a really good question. The way I would recognize a great mentor is that they have actively shown competence and world class results,
Hmm.
results, recognized results in an area that you want to be successful.
Hmm.
As long as it's someone that you resonate with, that they have the same character. And I actually believe this as well. The more that you get to know you, the more. I remember I asked a very successful individual once, "How do you recognize a good mentor?" Same question as you've asked me. And as long as the individual has results that you want, and you're constantly getting to know yourself through applied work, applied action, applied focus,
Hmm.
meaning you are actively on a journey, you will find a mentor that's in alignment with your character, your morality, the things that you value. And so it's
Mm.
important to get to, and you're not going to know that straight away, but it's important that you keep active and you're immersing yourself with people and different mentors. Not saying you should have more than one mentor. I don't think that. I think you should listen to a person for sure, but you have to be very, very good at identifying who's got the results you want initially. Then you look at the way they conduct themselves, their character, their ethics, what they stand for. And I believe with that married together, results and what they stand for, their morality, their values, I believe you'll be onto, you'll be onto a good
Mm.
thing.
That's an interesting answer. Have you heard about the quote, "You're the sum of the five people you spend the most time with," right?
Hmm.
What does a person that spends time with small-minded people, people that don't believe in him, people that believe that making money online is not real, people
Mm.
that think that everybody's a scammer again, people that just don't want to try, how does that person change his network, should I call it, or his circle of people he's speaking to on a day-to-day basis?
Hmm. Set a goal. Set a
Hmm.
goal first. What do you want? Get a pen, get some paper, write out what is it you want. When you write that out and you have it where you can see it on a daily basis, and then you actively seek a new person, you reach out and make a
Hmm.
new connection, you reach out to something you feel like you resonates with that goal, you'll have a new environment in 2024 like that. Seriously, like that. You will have a new environment and a completely different path that you can take. So it
Hmm.
starts with a goal, and it starts with you being honest and saying, "Are these people here going to help me to get to here? If not, I'm afraid
Hmm.
there's got to be a period of separation. You've got to separate to elevate, right? You've got to separate to elevate. You do.
Hmm.
You're never going to get to different results with the same people. And you see a lot of people in the online space who are actively in the skill set side of things, maybe trading or maybe doing, I don't know, YouTube automation, e-commerce, or whatever it is.
Hmm.
The skill set can take them to millions, but the fact that they're always with the same environment means whatever skill set that
Hmm.
can make the millions that they're tapped into, they're
Hmm.
listening to the wrong. Now, you got to remember this. There's two ways to the heart: the eyes and the ears. Once you change what's in your heart, you change what's in your life. How do you change it? Emotional impact, repetition. That's how.
Hmm.
So if you keep on listening and seeing things that are listening and hearing people talk the way you just shared just there with their old
Hmm.
environment and actually seeing them and their habits, you have a goal wrote down one side, but you have people around you doing the other. That's confusing. You're an in-betweener now,
Hmm.
which means that you're never
Yeah.
going to impress the heart with the right outcome. And if you can't impress your heart with the right outcome, you're definitely not going to get to the right income.
Huh.
Yeah, it's you got to remember that your heart doesn't know. The subconscious mind doesn't know environment. It knows energy. It knows words that are associated with energy. It
Hmm.
knows. Remember what your eye. The last three letters in the word eyes is yes. Whatever your eyes see, they say yes to. Now, if you're not around people talking about doing 100,000 a month, a million a month, traveling the world, flying on jets,
Hmm.
buying nice cars, buying nice watches, going to nice restaurants, going to, eating in nice, whatever it may be, if you don't see that, you don't hear that, it's not going to happen no matter how hard you work on this trading, on this
Hmm.
e-commerce, which is why people make such slow results because they're just around people who are talking about the life or living the life they don't want. And a mentor
Hmm.
changes what you believe through showing you better, through showing you more.
Hmm. I wanted to ask you, what is the BPM community, Bulletproof Mindset community, for someone who isn't familiar with it?
Well, the BPM communities is a it's an environment of like-minded, supportive, positive, growth-driven, elevating individuals in a community sense that travel, that train, that host events that are partnered with a financial vehicle to create freedom. Because remember what we talked about, the skill
Mm,
set, the physical is the financial vehicle. There's loads of great financial vehicles, but it's not about what you do, it's who you're with. So that community could really go anywhere and win
mm,
in the same way, because the most important part is the community, like I just said, environment. So it's a concentrated place to get the results you want in the most efficient and effective way, with a lot of results collectively joined together. Right? It's a mastermind
mm,
and an environment where people financially, physically, emotionally, um, mentally can elevate their life to get from it whatever they want. Different people join for one reason,
mm,
stay for many. Some people don't even earn that much or even earn as such from necessarily the online space because of BPM, but it's available. They may really love their mindset. They may be in other businesses, but they use the community to progress there, right? Because
mm,
boy, business principles and success principles are the same whatever you touch. 95 to 99% is in the unseen. Well, BPM provides the soil for you to elevate your life and progress your life in the unseen. The seen part is the business. The seen part is the
mm,
trading. The seen part is whatever the skill set or whatever the financial vehicle is the seen part. That can change, brother. That environment will,
mm.
will, will win in a big way, whatever it does.
Which path would you recommend for someone trying to quit their 9 to 5 job? If you had a 9 to 5 job, how would you get out of that situation that you hated, let's say?
Well, I'm obviously gonna say the network marketing industry. I am. There's only one industry I'm going to recommend personally, because I genuinely believe if anyone wants to escape and progress from their 9 to 5, that is the route that off of if you're in a 9 to 5, remember you're working 37 and a half hours a week. So you need something.
Mm,
Let's just look at what you need. You need something that can build and grow on a part-time basis. It needs to be an additional stream of income before it's a full-time income.
mm,
Okay. So naturally, the network marketing space gives you a financial vehicle that you can build literally millions
mm,
of dollars from. The barriers to entry, meaning to start a business in a lot of businesses, it's thousands. Well, the cheapest way you can get started, if you were to start with me, is $100. You're not going to earn the most income on that position. But I love it, brother, because you can literally build an empire of millions from $100,
mm. How
where you
crazy is
get
that?
where you get the website that's already done for you, the compensation plan that's already built, so the company makes sure everybody's paid and all that things of that nature. The products and services are again all developed, built, researched, improved by the company.
Mhm,
Okay. All the resources and tools are again produced by the company. The system, the core of the system is done by the company. The training, the methods of
mm,
operation, right? The ways to onboard, the ways to, do you know what I mean? You can have customers, you can have distributors, you can choose to be a customer, or you can be a distributor.
mm,
So you can travel the world, it can operate in 192 countries. You can use it 24/7. But I could keep going. What I'm saying to you is it's created more millionaires than any other industry on planet Earth since the 1970s. You can start from today and name your income, and you will have a success coach, a mentor work with
mm,
you every single day. There's a system and there's a science to building it, so there's no guesswork.
mm,
So no one's ever came to me with a better solution for people that have got minimal time, minimal money to get started, but can
mm.
earn a ton.
I want to say something about that. The craziest thing is, imagine 60 years ago. How would you talk to a millionaire? How would you have access to speaking to these people? And what would it cost you
Mhm.
compared to right now, the opportunities that there are in
Oh,
2024?
it's brother. There's never been more opportunity. There's
Yeah.
never been more opportunity to create and build. You can copy or paste. Look, You can copy and paste your way to $1 million in 2024, brother. Like, people need to realize that. They as
Mm,
soon as you have the ability, well, the willingness to learn, unlearn, and learn again, which is what wealthy people do.
mm,
They learn, unlearn, and learn again. As soon as you're willing to do that, you will find a mentor that will help you drive. And in network marketing, the mentor you track upline far enough. In network marketing, you will find an individual that will work with you and help you achieve what they've done
mm,
from day one onwards. So I'm very, very passionate about people being able to start from a small amount but earn a lot. And
mm.
when you're getting paid, residual means repeatable. A lot of people have subscriptions going out, but they don't earn money off subscriptions coming in. Network marketing solves that, and you start becoming your own Netflix.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. By the way, what is network marketing for the people who don't know what that means?
Yeah, so essentially, network marketing is you are serving a product, service, or solution to people's maybe financial. I mean, you obviously you can get around. We have a financial based technology product where you can learn how to become profitable and snatch profits from the market. So it's financial literacy.
Hmm.
Um, and it's the distribution of that to your network, but not only your network, anybody else is networked too that also sees themselves earning an additional income. So you can start with, like I said, as little as $100, and you're in a position where you are now more valuable to your network. See, a lot of people, brother, they're not earning money with their network or giving their network anything. As soon as you become an individual that can give, so if you were one of my network, I would give you a call and say, look, brother, real quick. I've obviously been building something great over the last couple of years. I've seen some fantastic results. I'm very excited about who I'm
Mm,
working with. Let me ask you a quick question. If there was a way you could add an additional income stream to your current lifestyle, would you want to hear more about it? Yes or no? And
mm,
and yeah, of course, I'd love to hear more. Brilliant. Watch this presentation. I'll give someone a presentation. It shares that whether they can start as a customer or a distributor, the kind of income they can earn, where they can get started. It's yes or no. So it's distribution. You are in a position where you have a product, service, or solution. You can choose from that how you utilize this industry. Some people, bro, they just drink a healthy drink and they love the industry. Other people then decide, you know what? This is amazing. This drink's fantastic.
mm.
Let me become a distributor and help build an income from this. And it creates freedom.
Mm,
It's a fantastic industry, and it's an online franchise, meaning that you can set up
mm,
for such a small amount, and instantly you're in a position to be able to impact positively individuals that are in your network. But not only that, as soon as you have an individual that loves what you've got, you're serving their network too. It's the fastest way
mm,
to build a network and become influential. And brother, it's just a beautiful industry. It really, really is. You learn how to communicate, how to lead, how to get to know people, how to be able to serve, how to be able to sell. A lot of people can't sell anything. They've got no idea. They don't realize that selling is actually the people who love themselves most love to sell. The
mm,
people who hate selling, they don't like who they are.
mm,
They really aren't keen on themselves because anybody that loves to sell loves to bring people into their life because they know it's a good place to be. So this industry allows you to learn all of it, and from there, brother, as soon as you attract your tribe through your vibe, right, you help people to become independent leaders and be able to serve their
mm,
network. And it's because of your pinnacle leadership that they win, and that's beautiful. I
mm.
love it.
Do you know who Grant Cardone is, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Grant Cardone once said, I am a billionaire because I have full confidence that I can sell a tampon to a man. And
Right.
honestly, he just emphasized how important learning how to sell is actually. So, with that in mind, what's the main reason people fail slash give up? One of those.
They've no longer got a bigger picture than their present day for
Mm,
future. They've lost their inspiration and because our memory replays our past and our
mm.
imagination pre-plays our future.
Oh.
Any person that's very, very successful is very aware of their creative faculties, meaning that they understand their imagination is to create a
Mm.
movie that the world hasn't once saw just yet, but you
Mm.
have. See, everything that you see in life, you've already seen it 3 times.
Mm.
Once, you've seen it in your head. Second, you've seen it in paper. Third time, you've seen it in reality.
Mm.
And what people do is they stop feeding the engine. Feeding the engine means
Mm.
immersing yourselves in the right rooms, going and sitting in that nice car, going to that home that you really want, going and trying on that presidential Rolex that you know you've always had your eyes on,
Mm.
going to that designer store, going to that restaurant. They've stopped feeding the engine.
Mm.
And all as they're doing is operating in an animalistic way, means they're just working
Mm.
hard.
Mm.
Working hard is not how you get rich. It's called Think and Grow Rich. You have to be able to think. A lot of people can't think. Bob Bob
Yeah,
Bob
perfect.
Bob Proctor says it best. 2% of the world think, 3% of the world think they think, 95% of the world would rather die than think. So they
Hmm.
fail because they stop thinking and picturing and being inspired and enthused by their imagination.
Hmm.
Leaders see with their belief, they don't see with their eyes. So you have to get into a place where you know how to exercise that picture. Because, bro, you don't get successful by doing what you feel like doing. You don't.
That's true.
That's not success. So people fail, brother, because there isn't enough examples of success around them. Environment.
Mm.
They're not putting themselves in the right rooms. They're not listening to the vision of their mentor and putting
Mm.
themselves in that place. And they're not going out and dream building and putting
Mm.
themselves in a position where they're feeding their engine to keep bringing to life what they actually want. And they
Mm.
lose it. I'll give you this. Without vision, the people perish. They
Hmm.
fail because they have no vision.
Mm.
They have no vision for a better day after today. They live day by day, and they don't
Mm.
have a strong enough vision. They don't. They don't build that.
I can understand that. You know, when you spoke about they don't surround themselves around successful people, I have worked on that this year, but I must say, this year I have had a meetup with a 19-year-old who was making about $30,000 a month, and he was just in Prague. He's from London or whatever, but he told me like he's gonna be in Prague the weekend. It was a couple of months ago. And I went to see him, and I went for coffee with him, just for a quick 10 to 15 minutes meetup to talk about something. And I ordered a $5 coffee, an espresso, and I saw that guy order a full plate of it was also a restaurant, so some food, ribeye steak, and some frappuccino, whatever. He didn't want to the toilet. I just looked at the bill. It was over $500 in total, and I'm like, for coffee and food, $500, and that's when I realized that there are people that can spend that on coffee and some food. It was breakfast, and I'm like, okay, what I'm doing right now isn't working. And when I saw that in real life, that's when it like kind of seemed real. Because when you see it on Instagram, rich people, it doesn't seem real. But when you see it in real life, that's when you start to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, I've started working on my on networking, etc. This podcast has bring me a handful of millionaires in my contacts list that I would have never had before as a 17-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I just feel so much more fulfilled when I don't know what to do, what's my next step in life.
Mm-hmm.
I have somebody to go to now because
Mm-hmm.
I have provided some sort of value to people. And this is just something that made it seem more real to me, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
With that, I want to ask you, do you think everybody, or should I say anybody, could make it technically if they tried hard enough and for long enough?
Yeah, yeah. Given Yeah, I believe there's a place for everybody to win. Yeah, yeah, I do.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Was there any point where you wanted to quit?
no, if I'm honest. There may be days that I didn't, days I wanted to see the back of. I think there's definitely say, but I've never ever, I've never been because I've never been on this journey to get something. I've always been on this journey to feel something
Hmm.
and to be a certain person, not to get something. So I'm not.
Hmm.
There's nothing for me to quit on. What is the? There's nothing for me to quit on. Is how I see it. Like I don't have
Hmm.
anything to quit on. It's you can't quit on. You know what I mean? Like living's living. This is a living for me. It's I know
Hmm.
it sounds full on, but it's life or death. Like I'm done what I'm done.
Hmm.
There isn't do you understand what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
there's no failing. It's impossible to fail because I don't know any other way of living.
Hmm.
I'm so programmed with the right information. You got to remember, I read. I don't know if it's on me now. I don't think it is. I think it's in maybe my bag. But I studied the book The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles
Hmm.
for 4 years. The same chapters for 4 years. Chapters 4, 14, and 7 in that order for 4 years continuously. So I've repeated success so much that there's nothing to quit on. So I may have been,
Hmm.
kind of ready for maybe a season or a phase to
Hmm.
end and a new one to begin, but I never had anything to quit on.
Hmm.
It's always going to lead me to another better day. It's always going to lead me to another better day. I understood seasons. I understand, why we need to have and be created and molded into the people we need to be.
Hmm.
Some of those days are going to be tough days, challenging days, but I never wanted to quit. There wasn't anything to quit on.
Hmm.
It's just a tough day. What I'm saying is I'm never going to benefit from thinking I've quit on something. You haven't quit, Elliot. You're
Hmm.
still alive. You're breathing. You're breathing, bro. So you haven't quit at all.
Hmm.
You need to just step forward. Today's what it is. Tomorrow's going to be better. So that's a
Hmm.
momentum of tomorrow will be better regardless.
Hmm. So, what's the key to long-term success? To like not falling off, as people call it, or making sure that you don't fall off your track, that you don't get too distracted by fun and what money can provide you, and that you
Mhm.
forget about your goal. How do you stay? How do you stay on track?
By understanding nothing externally from you qualifies qualifies nothing external from you qualifies long-term happiness.
Hmm.
Everything's what you put in. Everything's what you're becoming. Everything's what you value as who you are. Nothing outside of you. Short term pleasure is outside, long term happiness is inside. So I focus every day on putting the right information every day into me because I know the expression of me and the short term pleasure, long term wealth for
Yeah.
sure, but and long term lifestyle and all those things. But if I focus on in remember the two ways to the heart, the two ways to feed you are through the ears and through the ears and through the eyes. So if I keep on listening and reading the right information, the information that tells me what I need to keep on elevating on a daily basis, I'm only gonna
Hmm.
keep on reaching new heights. So I believe that if you want to create a sustainable, consistent success is the realization of a worthy goal
Hmm.
or a worthy ideal. So you realize it day by day by immersing yourself in the right information, whatever that is, an audio, whatever that may be, a book, on repeat though, on repeat, not just once. People read a book once and they think they've read something. No, keep reading the same information. So I feed
Hmm.
myself the right information whilst continuing on this elevation of who I am. And
Mm,
also value the things I've said, value who you are, how you talk, how you communicate, what you stand
mm,
for, what your purpose and what you're giving, right?
mm,
The only real way of living is actually giving. That's the reason I said, you know what, let's do it. Someone will
mm,
catch this. Someone will
mm.
use it.
What advice would you give to somebody that struggles with keeping themselves accountable, keeping discipline, or just like let's say they have a task list and they
Mm.
struggle with keeping their promise to themselves and doing the things that they say they would.
You've got to you've got to go and experience something more to the point you no
Mm.
longer accept. You no longer
Mm.
accept that you can procrastinate, that you can, and that takes investment into yourself, personal development, investing into your personal and professional development, investing into you. You've got to invest into the point where that task list, if you're ignoring that task list, you need to go and get yourself that mentor or go and
Mm.
experience things to the point where there's no other option. You can feel from me, there's
Mm.
no other option. The way I've done that is by investing continuously into me to the point where you're worth so much more. You
Mm.
can be worth more before you can see a monetary result. But the way you create that worth, people who don't complete what they need to complete, they
Mm.
don't have a self-worth. If you need to create yourself a worth for you, a self-image script, go out and invest money into you. Some people, you'll get there, trust me. Keep investing into yourself until it hurts you enough that you have to go and complete what it is you've set out to complete.
Mm.
Again, accountability through mentorship, through a better environment. You're going to feel super uncomfortable around me if you're not getting what you need
Mm.
to get done. You are. So, again, environment, mentorship, invest into yourself.
Mm.
Those are the things that are, and get around people that make you feel a bit angry. Sometimes you got to be a bit annoyed about, man, I need to what am I you got to get look, being
Mm.
angry is not a low vibration. It's not a low frequency.
Mm.
Angry is a good progressed, applied to the right action is a fantastic feeling to
Mm.
get you where you need to be. So you've got to get real.
You know, I heard this quote. I believe it was actually Andrew Tate who said this, that energy cannot be destroyed; it can only be transmuted and transferred into something.
Yeah.
So let's say
Yeah.
your girlfriend broke up with you and you're actually hurt. Well,
Mm.
you have all the motivation in the world to send her 300 text messages and to try to convince her to come back, or you can have the motivation to send 300 outreach messages with your new offer. You have the same amount of energy. It's about what do you decide to put it in. And
Yeah.
that's the best quote I've heard about this.
Mhm. Mhm.
Do you have haters?
I think I used to have. I think the key is that when you make a decision and you have a goal and you're maybe got a certain set of results, initially the test is getting through the people at
Mm,
that point. Because remember, every frequency you're on, you're attracting a different
mm.
individual. So when I said about the environment, information, invest into yourself, I see myself very differently. So I attract initially when at different decisions I've made in life, yeah, you're gonna
Mm,
get that test, of course, of okay,
mhm.
cool, they perceive it a different way. These people have got this to say and that to say. It all drops away. It all drops away. You may welcome some different kind of situation. It's all just a rival to how much do you really want it. It's a little test to say, okay, cool, just brush that aside. Where there's light, there's dark.
Mm,
Everyone needs to realize that where there's light, there's dark. You can't have light without dark. That's how it is, right? You've got
mm.
shadows, okay? Light, dark. So as long as you're aware of it, I think there's probably a lot more haters than I realize, which is cool. Which is cool. But I don't give it any energy. I don't give it
Mm,
any. I don't give it any energy. Anybody gets as soon as I even slightly smell something negative, it's block and delete. They're out of my life.
Mm. Do you have somebody that inspires you today?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Mr. Bugs. He's my
Mm.
mentor. He has the records. He has the records in the network marketing industry. He inspires me. If I mean, you got to
Mm.
remember that I've built a personal relationship with Mr. Bugs. I've been to his house. I've had
Mm.
breakfast with him, had dinner with him. He's impressed upon me more, and the fact that I can be more. And when you have that impression upon yourself to the point where, when you can have that impression upon yourself to the point where somebody expects something more from you as well, there's an accountability there that's the biggest driver I could ever have I could ever have wished for. To
Mm.
have Mr. Bugs in my corner, you feel his want and his investment into you.
Mm.
That creates something, you've earned that, I've earned that, right? So yeah, for sure. I mean, there's some, there's definitely some individuals out there that inspire me, but my coach, my mentor, Mr. Bugs, for sure. He inspires
Mm.
me as a person, how he conducts himself, what he's achieved, who's became, what he stands for, all of those things I mentioned from a mentor. Because remember, I told you about
Mm.
my mentor in cycling. I was looking for that next hero, and when the student's ready, the teacher shows up, right?
Oh yeah, that's a very good quote.
Yeah,
What if you're that hero for somebody? I'm pretty sure you are.
yeah, definitely. I think you're so. I think that your leadership impacts people, and your becoming and your example impacts people, more people than you'll ever really be aware of. All as you can do is know that it's having a positive. Every move you make, when it comes to what you're doing, how you've gotten, where you've gotten, and all of those things. The more that you can become, the more it's not just about you as well. It's about my people. It's
Mm.
about your people. It's about making sure that they have a person that they can rely on, that's responsible, that's committed to their own
Mm.
personal elevation. Because people win because of that, and that's what it's really about.
Mm.
Mr. Bugs is passing the baton to individuals like myself to say, you can go on and you it's your time. It's your
Mm.
time, and if I can pass the baton on to individuals that see me in that way, and they go out and win because of that, that's a good life, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? What a great life.
Mm. What's your long-term vision? Where would you want? Where are you going?
My long-term vision is to leave enough information and enough results and enough legacy
Mm.
on this earth for people after me to go from where I was, where I'd been through the system when it comes to education. I'd got a degree. I was in a position where
Mm.
I was in a corporate world situation that I didn't have any other examples of around me other than that, and it was not for me. Starting from zero and not and if I can course correct and help people to cling on to the results that I leave behind for as long as they want to utilize them. What a fantastic vision. Everyone's here,
Mm.
everyone's unique. People are going to resonate with me, other people aren't, other people are going to resonate with somebody else. If I can be my light
Mm.
and people resonate with that, where I started, what I've done, who I've become, what I've handed back, what I've achieved, my results, how I saw I did them. If I can keep on doing that along the way and
Mm.
leave that behind and make sure those after me, my family after me, never have to go through the struggle I went through, but they can eliminate some of the maybe areas that I had to, correct when it comes to the generation,
Mm.
and then pass back to them example, not of avoiding struggle, but of going through their own finding out and becoming, but handing back to them a legacy.
Can I say something? Don't you think that the struggle and errors they went through got you to where you are as well? That those are valuable lessons they've learned?
That they are, but I wouldn't want to see my children go through some of the things that
Mm.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I want them to go through the things they need to, but I don't want them to have to go through over the same. They shouldn't need to go along the path that I have. They can
Mm.
create, they can use my legacy and go on and create,
Mm.
use it to carry on. Not, they don't have to go over the same path. So, yes, but not the same struggle. I don't believe that.
Mm.
I believe every generation should pass the baton of legacy into the next, into the
Mm.
next revelation of what for that generation is promised. Now it's my job to pass the baton in an
Mm.
advantageous place, right? So I don't want them to go across the same path, but for sure they're going to go through their own struggle anyway.
Mm. What separates thinking big versus being realistic? Some people hate that word.
Yeah, yeah. I think I think that what separates thinking big to being realistic is having tangible, achievable daily methods of operation, even weekly and monthly goals that are achievable, knowing your current position, but thinking big, thinking big the whole way. So look, you need to have a picture. You need to have a picture of what you want, which should be thinking big. But your daily steps should be achievable in accomplishing
Mm.
them. And the separation is not just wishing, but
Mhm.
actually not. You've got to be able to
Mm.
think big and operate from where you're at.
Mm.
That's what you've got to be able to do. And I think that's the separation. People who think big need to have an actual daily method and
Mm.
weekly and monthly goals that they can see themselves achieving in a week and in a month.
Mm.
But the overall thinking big is the end goal, working from the goal, not to the goal.
Mm. I've heard this quote: "Set systems, not goals. Goals are guiding stars." And
Right.
it was said by Ali Ibrahim when he said that he didn't have a goal of 50,000 subscribers. He had a goal of one video a day for 180 days. And now he's at 70,000 subscribers, making God knows what at 19 years old. He set a system and not a goal, and that is something that if you apply it to something tangible like fitness, I want to get a
Mhm.
six pack within the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months,
Yep.
or I'm gonna try train abs 2 to 3 times a week, and I'm gonna be in a calorie deficit. Which one of these people are actually gonna be more likely to get that six pack? The person with the system, to be honest, because the person with the goal may sacrifice on their system because it's not as strict, and they didn't build a system that they enjoy, and the person with the system built a system that they enjoy, and they are not so obsessed over the goal because they know that inevitably it will happen as long as the system
Yeah.
mathematically, logically, it will get to that if they were
Yeah,
gonna long term.
I think that you shouldn't seek for what you enjoy. I don't think. I think a lot of people seek to do what they
Mm,
enjoy, and I don't think
mm,
seeking for what you enjoy has got me to here at all. I
mm,
think for doing what it takes, but you've got to have a goal because you've got to have an end picture. But the key part is that you
yeah.
have a plan. Because doing one video a day, for example, that's a plan.
Mm,
So you need to have the goal to know where the plan's
mm,
going. That's for sure. Because otherwise, you're working hard, right?
That's why in the same quote that mentioned goals are guiding stars.
Yeah.
Technically, yes, but it was
Yeah.
maybe not a lot of people can like internalize that. Anyhow, I wanted to get into some rapid fire questions before we get wrapped up.
Yeah.
So, ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
How you do one thing is how you do everything.
Hmm. What's the worst advice you've ever received?
Do what you love
Why is that the worst advice?
because people feel like they should be enjoying what they're doing, and
Hmm.
no, that you shouldn't be enjoying what you're doing.
Hmm.
Jeff Bezos says if you enjoy 50% of what you do,
Hmm.
it's about right.
Hmm.
People are too in tune with what they love. Don't do what you love. Do what
Hmm.
you love after you have the choices to do anything you want.
Hmm. Yeah, I must admit, the times where I did something that I hated is the times where I felt the best afterwards, and it
Right.
has actually bring me the results that I expected
Yes.
of myself. Do you have a favorite quote, or maybe a couple of them?
Yeah, I think leaders see with their belief, not with their eyes. It helps me to be able
Mm,
to keep on using the creative faculties that I have rather than relying on my eyes. I don't rely on my eyes to see what
mm,
I'm bringing to life and what and also what's possible. And I believe those that can see with their belief, they achieve.
mm.
They're the greats.
What's the proudest moment in your life?
Going elite going elite
Mm,
as a professional cyclist.
mm,
That was very yeah, that was massive. Um, and also the people helping the people that I've helped up to this point in both cycling and through network marketing, I
mm,
couldn't be more proud, to be honest. I think that's probably that's yeah,
mm.
they're definitely my proudest moments. Going elite for me was a massive moment,
Mm,
something I wanted for for so long. And then the people that I've helped through cycling and people that I've helped in the space of network
mm,
marketing, so proud. Yeah, definitely.
mm. Describe yourself in 2 words.
Two words:
Yes.
unwavering faith.
Mm,
Um, and I'd say unreasonably enthusiastic.
I love that. What's the purpose of life?
To find out who you really are.
Hmm. Yeah, that's actually something that a
To
lot
find out
of
who you really are.
people are not focusing on at all, like even a little bit. They're not even thinking about that.
To find out who you really are, and what you can really who you can really become.
Mm. Last question. If you could have a conversation with your 17-year-old self, what would the conversation be about?
Go and take as much action as possible
Mm.
without asking for the
Permission?
permission. Yeah,
Mm.
permission definitely from those that you've that you've even been brought up with. Go exactly out and go and do exactly what you feel in
Mm.
that moment is going to take you to where you want to be. Nothing is a failure. Nothing is a mistake. Nothing is a bad decision. Go
Mm.
out into the world and go and find out and take
Mm.
massive action on your life until it starts to teach you what what your path is and what means the most purpose to you. And don't ever let anything, anybody, any preconception of who you're supposed to
Mm.
be get in the way of that.
Mm.
And never stop stepping out into uncomfort and
Mm.
not knowing. Step out in faith and say, I'm here to live and I'm here to grow. I'm here to accomplish as much as I can and go out and
Mm.
find out how that happens for you.
This was a pleasure, brother. What's next for you?
The top of this industry, to be honest.
Mm.
This industry. When I say the top, I mean to become to reach number one in the industry for
Mm.
the amount of people we're impacting. To surpass Mr. Hot and Bugs' achievements in the space of network
Mm.
marketing, definitely. And to bridge the gap between people understanding this industry and help it to bridge the gap
Mm.
and be an example of what this industry can really do for someone's life and how it can
Mm.
take away a lot of the struggle and create a lot of awareness around through results and being an example of what's really possible.
Mm.
But yeah, number one in the industry. Gain and take all the
Dang, man.
records to see what it took,
Mhm.
and create the biggest ever network of distribution, and most people through doing that, um, over the next 5 to 10 years.
Mm. Where can people find you, man?
Yeah, so I'm actually on YouTube. You can catch me,
Nice.
Eliot Ward, on YouTube there, and Spotify a little bit, Eliot Ward again. Instagram is, as you can see, at Eliot Ward underscore. Yeah, that's me, man. That's me.
Okay, well, guys, thank you for watching till the end. This was an amazing, Elliot. This was a very much, very enjoyed conversation. I've learned a lot this conversation. I'm gonna be rewatching this for sure. And yeah, all of Elliot's socials will be down in the description. So with that in mind, guys, I'll see you on the next one.